Well guys, following my video yesterday about Andrew Bridgen, we're back on the same subject because just after uploading that, the Conservative Party stripped him of the whip, making him an independent MP. This they claim was done because of his posts about the jab on Twitter, but really it's undeniable that it's being done to shut him up. This I can say for sure because the fake news media and political scumbags galore are screaming about a tweet they claim is in some way anti-Semitic. Now, obviously it ain't, and instead merely talks about what someone else had actually said, plus it's in no way anti-Jewish or anti-anyone for that matter. It's merely saying that a consultant cardiologist told him that this is the biggest crime against humanity since the Holocaust. He didn't say the Holocaust didn't happen, and he didn't say it was a good thing or anything like that. In fact, he said it was the worst of the worst, and this mRNA jab is the worst since that. It's an opinion and not something that's against anyone. How that's anti-Jewish, anti-Semitic, or literally anti-anything but the mRNA jabs is actually beyond me, but as you can see here, the media don't care about facts, do they? I mean, the headline here is pure fake news, and yet the media will call us fake news whenever they can. In fact, that is something we'll talk about in a moment, because it's all bloody related. First though, it wasn't only the media who went after Andrew Bridgen following all this. No, we also had pond scum in Parliament doing it, and led by none other than Matt Headcock, sometimes known as Midazolam Matt.
Well, it's just, it's been...
Yeah, this pus-dripping septic monkeypox spot on the ring piece of humanity had the audacity to not only speak in public after all that he's done, but decided to attack someone else in the process. Let's take a listen.
Does the Prime Minister agree with me that the disgusting anti-Semitic, anti-vax conspiracy theories that have been promulgated online this morning are not only deeply offensive but anti-scientific and have no place in this House or in our wider society?
Prime Minister.
Well, can I join with my right honourable friend in completely condemning those types of comments that we saw this morning in the strongest possible terms? Obviously, it is utterly unacceptable to make linkages and use language like that, and I'm determined that the scourge of anti-Semitism is eradicated. It has absolutely no place in our society, and I know that the previous few years have been challenging for the Jewish community, and I never want them to experience anything like that ever again.
Final question.
Right, first off, let's deal with Rishi Sunak, the unelected, unwanted wankstein gifted premiership by the media and scumbag MPs. This pont should shut his gob and step down, as no one voted for him to be the Prime Minister and literally never would. In fact, each time he's tried, the public have told him to get stuffed, and the same is true on this one. Matt Hancock, though, has some bloody audacity to stand up in there talking like he was, given all that he's bloody done. In fact, this twat has the front of a double-decker bus, given the disgraceful actions he took not only while Health Minister that have cost lives, but also since then with his little TV stunt.
Do you know what it is, actually? What I'm really looking for is a bit of forgiveness. That's what I'm really looking for. We all make mistakes. I made a pretty big one.
I'm not asking for forgiveness for how I handled the pandemic, because I know that I did my very best every single day during the pandemic.
Yeah, he ain't sorry for destroying people's lives and now decides to parrot falsehoods in Parliament while calling someone else anti-scientific, anti-Semitic and God knows what else.
What a wanker.
Yeah, the same old idiot who said herd immunity doesn't exist despite pushing a vaccine they falsely claimed would give herd immunity as the front to call what someone else is saying unscientific.
That would strike me as herd stupidity. And speaking of herds, I understand that a number of ministers have questioned the existence of herd immunity, which is odd, given that a successful vaccine programme relies on herd immunity, and that is the basket into which the government has placed all its eggs. Throw into this mix, Madam Deputy Speaker, the fact that we appear to be determined to claim every possible death as a COVID death, as if we were in some sort of international league and competition.
Oh, and since Andrew Bridgen was quoting a medical professional in his tweet, I'd actually have to question what medical degree Matt Hancock has, because I didn't know he was a doctor, did you? Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot he has the WEF and Pfizer medical degree that makes you the world's greatest virologist to argue against actual medical professionals. No uni or college needed. You sign up to the globalist agenda and you become the expert as they own the science.
You know, we own the science and we think that the world, should know it.
Now, clearly, this clown gets these talking points from the BBC and mainstream media, who, as some might know, are all part of the same agenda as Matt Hancock's puppet masters are. They're all in bed together under the Trusted News Initiative founded by the BBC, which I've actually talked about before. This clip from Tchaikovsky proves with actual evidence that the BBC and social media companies have all been complicit in shutting down debate, much like Matt Hancock and the media are doing to Andrew Bridgen now.
The Trusted News Initiative was a secretive cartel that involved the big legacy media companies that you mentioned, the Associated Press, Reuters, the Washington Post, and the BBC, and also the social media platforms, Microsoft, Google, Facebook, and Twitter. And it was an agreement that had two purposes. One was to suppress and censor any information, whether true or not, that departed from official government orthodoxies and government proclamations. A purpose of the cartel was revealed in one of the memos that we have obtained from BBC, which is to destroy their rivals in the independent media. The BBC memo says to the other groups, and it was BBC, which is a British government-owned news network, and it was the one that orchestrated this secret collaboration, anti-competitive collaboration. And what they said is, although we are ostensibly all rivals and competitors with each other, the existential threat to all of our business models comes from thousands of independent news sites who are now not only providing all this content that people are reading, but they're also diminishing trust in our organizations.
Yeah, not news to us, but it's all connected with recent attacks on Andrew Bridgen and literally anyone who speaks out. Obviously, as I've said, not one thing he wrote was anti-Semitic or anything like that, and as any idiot can see, he was only relaying what someone else has said that once again wasn't anti-anything at all. This, as my video said yesterday, is the powers that be trying to silence him, not because he's lying, but because they're scared of what he might say. In fact, George R.R. Martin said something similar before, did he not? When you tear out a man's tongue, you're not proving him a liar, you're only telling the world that you fear what he might say. That there is true here, and I would bet they're all scared the sheeple they propagandized into compliance will start asking questions if they hear it. This they really don't want, and so the smear jobs like this come out even now.